Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. How cool is that? This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience.
They're an experience.
All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. I'm joined today with my gold-digging friend, Lucy. How are you today?
I am okay today.
Did you take your gold to the bank?
Yep, took my gold to the bank. Got some checks to write checks, and yep.
Did you get your free sucker?
Yep, got my free sucker.
Nice.
Cotton candy dum dum.
They give actual dum-dums at the bank these days? I thought it was just those weird round suckers that you get from the car wash still.
Actually, I think they stopped giving suckers.
Oh, that's lame.
Post COVID.
Like during COVID, that kind of went away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, today we're talking about a pretty interesting movie. Sisu.
Sisu.
Directed by and written by Jalmari? Helander?
Yeah.
How's that sound? Or is it Jalmari? Is there a J or a Y sound over there in Finland territory? I do not know.
Yep.
I'm not Finnishness again enough.
Yep.
This is an interesting movie. Coming
Very.
right hot. We're coming right off, steaming hot, seconds off of John Wick. You know, we moved right into this immediately after John Wick, so there was some shadow to get out of.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
And I can't believe that this film did, you know? I hate to put the that kind of shallow bias into the mix, but John Wick, it was so fucking good. It puts so many things to shame, but god damn, this movie is excellent.
Yeah.
Give me some high-level thoughts.
Well, I like this movie quite a bit. It's not a very, thought-provoking film. It's not one of the best classics movies that's going to go down in history. You know, it's purely entertainment and joy. Well, it's not joy. It's not a joyous film, but joy watching it for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Very gory.
I don't think we're too familiar with very many Finnish films. I don't keep up with every film and where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'd be a little surprised if we've seen more than like 10 Finnish films. But we have seen a couple, and this director actually directed one of your favorite Christmas movies.
Christmas movies.
Yeah.
The Polar Express.
Yeah.
What?
He directed The Polar Express. No,
Ooh.
he directed a really niche, probably not seen by many eyes, Christmas movie. Very rare. Called Rare Exports. You like the Rare Exports? What is that movie about? You love that one.
I
like that
movie.
one too. That's gonna be a tradition now.
Yeah, that we have to watch that every Christmas for sure. Yeah, I mean that's a weird ass movie. It's a weird ass horror Christmas movie, and I love it. I mean, you know, it's about these diggers, I guess, uncover Santa Claus, or what should be what we think about Santa Claus, not, you know, fat dude in a red suit and giving out presents. No, it's actually what's his name?
Like the
Krampus.
The Krampus-like character?
Yeah, Krampus-like character with the horns, and he's huge. And then we have this weird premise with people being elves. I mean, it's weird. It's fucking weird. And then they need the money because wolves have been attacking the reindeer that apparently this, dad has a reindeer farm But wolves have been eating the reindeer, so now they don't have money, so they end up training these people as
the elves.
Yeah. The elves, Santa's elves as Santa Claus, and selling them and exporting them to.
They are the rare exports.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird movie, and I love it.
And it's one of these movies that has no right in being as good as it is.
And I think it's, in the realm of this movie. Although this isn't as weird as what is it? Rare Exports. This isn't as weird as Rare Exports, but it's still as entertaining.
Yeah, and maybe as absurd, at least, right?
I mean, yeah, pretty crazy.
We do have a guy who catches himself on fire, can hold his breath. That's not really all that unbelievable. Maybe in this specific scenario, he dodges a lot of bullets and tank shots and survives a plane crash. So there's a little bit of godlikeness happening here in absurdity, which is maybe on some kind of level playing ground as just the insanity of Rare Exports and just where it goes. It definitely
has that.
Story-wise, Rare Export is balls to the wall crazy. This is Sisu is I don't really know. It's fucking nuts. It's crazier than even John Wick. John Wick feels much more grounded than this.
I know.
Which is crazy. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to start off the top by saying that it was written and directed by the same guy, which is always, I think, a sign of a vision coming to life. Not necessarily quality, but I think there's probably a parallel between two, right? But I did want to start off with saying, too, that the intro, before the Nazis got involved, the part where you were like, it was boring you. You're like, when is this going to start picking up? And I was just like, oh my God, this is my favorite part. And that probably is my favorite part of the whole movie. It just helps build the mood, real gritty. He's digging these big holes. I like the prospecting thing. I like the camping out, the digging through the water, digging the holes, the dirtiness, the dog, the animals, the flat land, the water. I think I said the water. But one thing I really liked about this intro part was, compared to another prospecting scene, which another movie I really like is this anthology movie called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs by the Coen Brothers, Netflix movie. And one of those shorts is about a prospector finding gold. And he digs these little holes throughout, this little area to find, the traces of gold so he can dig a bigger hole. But this guy dug big ass holes everywhere. They were awesome. It was probably like 6 or 7 big ass holes down the riverbank or down the creek bank or whatever.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved that. Did you notice?
No. I was bored.
And then probably one of the greatest shots was when he was looking across that plain and he was seeing the explosions, and then it would shine back. It would, look back at him. The camera would look back at him, and you could see the explosions kind of faintly on his face and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and then there was even a shot where I think the sun was going down, or maybe it was after the explosion, or some kind of lighting caused the ground to be a little bit goldish, like just a spark of gold just for a second, which, I mean, yeah, okay, I can appreciate that, I guess.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of, I've noticed at least, I mean, sometimes it gets you, of course, but you're not a big fan of sequences that set the mood, especially in the intro section. If they don't hook you, you can be quick to bow out.
Yeah.
Which I can't blame you. I mean, there's a lot of shit out there. But
no, I mean, I want to be over there where the explosion just happened, not here with this dude.
I want to be exactly where we're at.
No.
Oh, I didn't.
Put me over there.
That's funny. And it's got kind of there's almost kind of a hyper naturalistic look to it. And we get a little bit of that on him, especially if you look at the poster. It has that hyper realistic look where, people like to draw these hyper realistic things and, flex their ability to push the details of every pore. And it's just like, okay, that's what you learn in your sophomore year of college, y'all. That's nice. Fine. That's cool and all of it, it's makes some actual artwork. But, anyway, and that happens a little here on the You know what I'm talking about, like on
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so fucking trite. It hurts. I'm sorry, but we can see a little bit of that here in the poster. You see it?
Yeah, I have the poster up.
And so, but we see a little bit of that also echoed throughout the entire movie in that gritty kind of dirty, war scene kind of aesthetic that we see in a lot of war movies, especially the recent All Quiet on the Western Front. Reminds me a lot of that with the filth and stuff. Except All Quiet on the Western Front is, by every measure, a much filthier movie. Great movie. But I love how, like you said, when we were watching the movie, or whenever, how he was taking a bath in the water. Hopefully he was taking it downstream a little bit away from his camp. He looked dirty afterward anyways.
Yeah, he still looked dirty.
But it's just kind of a relativistic thing, right? A bath, in that he is clean relative to his what he was 30 minutes ago, right? This is kind of funny.
No, yeah, I mean, with that, even, his dog was so dirty too. And it was one of those sheepdog.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
it was kind of a
but it was
sheepdog
very,
looking thing.
very fluffy.
It almost had like a poodle look.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
And that just gets dirtier. So
it was white-ish.
And it was whitish. I wonder how difficult that is to make everything look so dirty when filming, or if it's something you tack on, some sort of filter per se to make everything look dirty. I mean, I'm sure you have to make the actual, actors and actresses, dirty.
It's kind of funny to have that to be part of the makeup people's job.
Yeah.
It will be.
And I mean, kudos to them for thinking about everything, even their hands. You mentioned at one point that their hands also look so dirty, which, I don't know. I guess I've never been an actor or actress, but if you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands, they're clean, and you come back, it just seems like a little detail that you wouldn't think to, I guess, dirty up your hands again. I don't know. Maybe you do, and I'm just thinking wrong here, but
yeah,
I mean,
this kind of thing is pretty rare. I think this is one reason why All Quiet on the Western Front was so praised for its production design, and it won its Oscar and everything, and won probably many other production design awards because of exactly that attention to detail, to the very natural things that would happen in a scenario like this, or him being out in the wilderness for God knows how long, or the middle of a war scenario, and during World War I in the trenches where it's fucking raining and you don't have a lot of things to cover anything because you're in a fucking hole that's just gonna collect water and become mud and shit. So you can imagine how, in like some sense, how easy it is to make that happen, but making it look like you've been splattered by shit because of the gunshots and the rain and the mortars and stuff. How do you make that look convincing? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. Especially All Quiet on the Western Front. But here it's a little more minimalistic.
Mm-hmm.
The grittiness is probably the loudest part of this movie, other than the guns and in the tank shots. But there's not a lot of dialogue, right? Our Sisu dude,
Tommy
Corpy doesn't speak much. He doesn't speak to the last 20 seconds of the movie.
Okay,
maybe.
John Wick.
I know, that's total page out of John Wick.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few parallels that were very interesting, like that they were both very quiet, awesome fighters. Badass fighters.
Very capable people, yeah.
And then the dogs. What's up with all these fighting people liking dogs? Nobody likes cats. I guess cat people are the ones that stay at home and,
And cat people are often like bad guys.
That's true. That's true.
And bad guys, because you could have seen in John Wick, the Marquis very easily with a cat. He would look like a cat guy.
With a Maine Coon, something very big and powerful. Yeah.
It's kind of a funny thing. Yeah, so I mean, it's not long until he come across some Nazis. They call this specific, well, I don't really know. I'm not too versed in Nazi history. We probably all should be, just so we, because it's an important piece of recent history. But they call them, I think they call this a death squad, this specific group of Nazis.
Okay.
This specific platoon of Nazis. It's called a death squad, and it's ran by a commander guy who he talks directly to Hitler.
Oh.
So that, yeah.
This is a big guy.
Yeah, and there were several of them throughout history I saw. Or, I mean, there were lots of them. But this is supposed to be one of them. Not a real one, but, like, he's supposed to, that's how much of a badass Nazi he is, that he was,
Now more of that movie starts making sense.
Okay.
No wonder he's desperate to get...
Yeah, because he's...
the gold.
He's definitely going to be killed.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be
I
killed.
thought he was just being, a greedy, hungry person.
Like some of the driver and some of the other guys probably wouldn't have been killed.
Yeah.
Once they surrender. Or once they're defeated.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got it, but now that's like, okay,
Yeah.
All right, dude, I get it.
Yeah,
I
he would
get
have
why
had
you
to...
were so desperate.
He would have had to run to Argentina like Hitler did. That's the theory. Do you know about that?
I mean, I know there are several theories
That's
out
the
there.
big theory. That he escaped to Argentina and lived out his life.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That was one of the big... That was supposed to be one of the big moves into the Western Hemisphere, was through Argentina. The Nazis were going to come up.
Mm-hmm.
And it never really happened.
I know you said your favorite part was the intro scene.
Oh, yeah, the rest of the movie's still great.
Yeah. But that's your favorite part,
Yeah.
Mine is definitely when that horse gets
Oh, my God.
blown up. Talk about one of the most badass way for an animal to die. I mean, that was so gruesome.
Yes.
That was disturbing.
Yes.
That was awesome.
It was so awesome when because they were going back and forth. The cuts were happening between the hooves and I think the tank, the guy on top of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? It did like 3 times probably. I was just like, what is going on? Before I could even say anything, the horse just fucking exploded.
Yes.
By stepping on a mine. That was
awesome.
That was
and
insane.
I noticed too the back and forth and them really focusing on the I can't say that word.
The hooves.
The hooves. That's a weird word. But I thought maybe we were supposed to pay attention to the path he was going on.
Yeah.
In a sense of getting lost or something of that sort. I never thought he was going to step on a fucking mine and blow up.
That was nuts. I was thinking about when I was looking at his hooves, I was just thinking about, those TikToks and YouTube shorts of these horses who have gnarly fucking hooves because they haven't been taken care of in years, and how they clean them up in the videos and stuff. That's what you were thinking. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking he's got nice hooves for being out here.
Taken care of.
Yeah, this dude knows what he's doing.
And then he blows up. There's a horse head, some horse torso, leg here or there, and that's it. Everything else has been blown up into tiny little meat pieces.
And his gold goes everywhere too.
His gold goes everywhere. He's covered in horse
guts
and skin, but it's so fucking tiny because it got blown up bad.
Yeah.
And it's just he's covered in it.
Yeah. That was one.
And also he has to be like aware that he could step on another one all while the tank was coming back.
And they couldn't believe their eyes because this guy had just killed the friends lagging behind.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see it, so they're not ready to shoot him, right? And they're watching this guy thinking, you can only imagine they're thinking this guy killed these our Nazi dudes.
That old man.
Like what? You can only imagine that he was thinking that, and he was picking up his gold and stuff, and what did he do? Yeah, he threw a rock at a mine and it created a dust cloud, and then he was, they shot out there, and he had his gold pan deflecting some bullets, which I guess in itself is I don't know if that's possible, but I mean that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's a little bit of that thing that comes out in people when they don't. Oftentimes, when people don't like a movie, they'll immediately be like, "It's unrealistic. That would never happen." You know what I mean? You've heard that a million times. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what that was coming out right there. I don't know what that was. That was weird Freudian slip of society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always annoying when people do that.
But then the Nazi leader was sending out guys, and they were getting fucking blown up and stuff. It was
They were
nuts.
all looking at each other like, "Oh, I hope you don't send me next."
And he was pointing at him. You're next. You too.
Please don't pick me.
That was awesome. But he gets away.
He gets away. I mean, they keep following him. And then I think that's when they start going after him. Right after that is when they discover the dog tags, right? His dog tags. And then they trace that his, I don't know, person number, and they call whoever they need to call to get that information. And then they find out
they find out who he's dealing with, who they're dealing with.
Yeah.
He's only the deadliest man to ever be. He's only killed hundreds and hundreds of Russians single-handedly, and
they were specifically given an order to don't go after him.
Yeah, but then he's like, "Fuck, I want that gold.
I want this gold."
And he wants it for himself because he later, we find out that he's gonna kill these any leftover guys.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks his numbers can help him get that gold. He's not even thinking strategy, really. Yeah, the Sisu character, what's his name?
Atami Korpi.
He was inspired by Simo Hiyaha.
Yeah, Simo is right.
Who is considered to be the deadliest sniper of all time during war ever. But he was a voluntary soldier. He wasn't just drafted.
Who volunteers? Who's ready?
I know. He's killed. Nobody knows how many people he's killed because most of it was accounted by himself. So
okay.
It's no corroboration. So it's kind of hearsay at this point, right? Sort of. But he was 100% accounted to have killed over 500 people, not including his machine gun kills, non-sniper kills. His hand-to-hand combat and his machine gun kills aren't counted. And then if there were multiple shots going off at once, those weren't counted either. And so there have been over 500 accounted for, but it could be as many as 1,000.
It sounds like it could be more.
Yeah, it could be. And he was only in the military for about a year. And so on average, he killed on average he killed about 3 to 10 people a day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wait. Is that right? No,
about 3? Yeah, I mean
3 to 5ish, yeah. Not 10. 10's too much, yeah. But about 3 to 5 people a day.
Yeah.
I mean that's
nuts.
Voluntarily joined the Finnish army. The Finnish militia.
Okay.
I don't know what that is really, but it's
the
Finnish militia civil guard at 17 too.
At 17?
At 17. So that's crazy, and he went on to live a long fucking life until he died in 2002. So that's crazy. That's crazy. So that's where the Sisu main character was, or kind of origins start at, with obvious inspiration from John Wick. I mean, I think there's no fucking way this movie is not pulling a John Wick. But there's also this other film called First Blood. That's hilarious. First Blood's a Rambo movie. I didn't know that.
That's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not familiar with Rambo, you guys. I'm sorry. That late 70s, early 80s era of movies is a miss on me. Minus Eraserhead and the rest of David Lynch's stuff. But, yeah, man. So he escapes. He gets some rest under a burnt up vehicle. They come looking for him because they want the gold. They got dogs. Were those dogs in John Wick?
No. This dog was poofy.
He was poofy, was he?
Wait, which dogs? Wait, what?
The German shepherds, the Nazi German shepherds.
Oh, those dogs.
Yeah, that were sniffing for him.
All right.
But then he coated himself in gasoline, of course, so the dogs wouldn't.
I forgot all about
So, well,
that.
I guess specifically so the dogs would lose
His scent.
the scent.
Yeah.
Which is awesome in its own right. I'm not gonna think about that. I didn't know I know, but I didn't know dogs have to keep the scent. That things can fuck it up. I mean, that makes sense, 100%. But damn. And of course, he at the same time is covering himself in gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, that only means one thing. He's got to get in water to wash it off, or he's going to catch himself on fire. And then he does both.
He does both. But how big of a World War II trope is that? Losing scent from a Nazi dog.
I don't know. I haven't seen very many World War II movies.
Well, I guess I've read a lot of World War II books. You know, whether some were based off of true stories or not. A lot have clever ways to get rid of dog scent. So, I forgot all about that scene.
That probably, I guess I can only assume that happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
Dogs are useful to a point, but they're very useful to get a scent, yeah. to follow a scent, I should say. So the dogs see him, of course, as he crawls out from under the moving truck that he grabbed hold of while he was hiding.
How does no one see that? Or you feel the weight? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you gotta, that's one of those things. You gotta hold your horses. There's a little bit of an absurd element we just gotta get on hold of.
True.
We gotta stay on our absurd horse. Don't get off of it.
Yeah.
But the dog see him, and he fucking. We see that close up of him lighting himself with a match, and he fucking bursts in flames, which look awesome. I don't know if that's real. Flames in movies usually don't look very good. I'm just gonna, or anywhere in video games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, video games CG completely, but he looked fucking insane on fire. And of course, the dog's not gonna fuck with that, so he jumps in the water. They come after him, and one by one, he fucking
takes him
Jason
out.
Voorhees these guys.
Also, in the most badass way, he's in the water, holding his breath. They're waiting for him to come out. Send one person down there, and he slits their throat and starts sucking their oxygen so he can keep breathing underwater. What? Excuse me?
I don't see John Wick doing that.
Yeah. Shit. It even like surpasses badass, because John Wick is badass.
Oh, I would call this metal.
Yeah.
This is
definitely metal.
This puts a whole new meaning to Nazi sympathizer. You feel bad for these guys because they have a fucking.
I don't feel bad for these guys.
You don't feel bad for these guys?
No, they deserve it.
They do deserve it.
I'm glad there was someone there putting them in their fucking place.
Yeah. So he escapes again, sort of. Finds his way back to his old crib, his old town. I assume, was that what that was?
I don't know.
He seemed familiar with it, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just hurting so bad. He was visualizing stuff and hearing stuff. His family, I guess, and baby crying. Or maybe that was happening, but was also happening to him. I don't know. Well, no, it was deserted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was burnt down.
Yeah. It was burnt out. Yeah, maybe he was in so much pain. He was imagining shit. Or it could have been his town. I don't remember. Because his family got killed. And that was with the Russians.
Pre-World War II. That's probably World War I with the Russians.
Yeah. And that's when he started getting his vendetta, really. And he started becoming a killing machine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Could have been.
He probably didn't live anywhere then. That's, I guess, because he was, when his family died and he went when he went on his solo career.
His solo career.
He, I don't know if he had a home at that point. He was just on the move, killing folks, looking for gold. But the Nazis find him. with his own dog. They strap a stick of dynamite to the dog, and you're like, fuck, the dog's dead.
Fucked. Yep.
The dog is dead. This guy's not dead, but the dog is fucking dead. But no, he peels it off and throws that shit, and it does not kill them.
Yeah, I'm glad the dog survived. I think that was a big trope in a lot of earlier movies, to kill the dog. You know, the dog was always dying. But I'm glad they they're steering away from that and letting the dogs live in movies. I appreciate that. Because there's nothing that gets me more than a fucking dog dying. Ugh, I'm bawling. If a dog's dying, I'm bawling. So I'm glad they let him live.
Well,
but then they hang him. He's hanged. And how the fuck is he going to get out of this?
You're like, maybe he's going to wait for the rope to rot or something.
Hold his breath.
He's just going to hold his breath. That's like a very Chuck Norris thing. Are you familiar with the Chuck Norris memes?
Yeah.
Those are pretty old. Those are of the OG meme days.
Yeah, that rope is going to get scared and
untie
away.
itself.
Untie itself. Yeah.
So he hoists himself up with his boo-boo on a fucking big-ass nail sticking out of this, wooden beam that's holding the sign up. And he just, to alleviate some of the pressure.
Who thinks to do that?
Like the directors and stuff and the writers? Or
yeah.
or him himself?
I mean, anyone.
It makes sense that he would, but how do the writers get to the point, this is where we're taking this, and he's going to be up there for probably several hours?
This is what he would do.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that makes sense. That's great, but you good? Like, that's a little weird. That's a cool concept and all, but, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, he's there. A plane pulls in. They see him. The sign's falling down all at the same time. And he just continues his fucking murdering spree. Is it murdering? I don't even know. Because it's kind of in the name of getting rid of the bad guy. Is it all murder? It's all murder, isn't it? There's a better way.
There's not a better way.
No?
Not here.
And not in this movie.
Yeah, not in this movie.
Yeah.
But it's I guess it is still murder. But it's like a good murder?
Yeah. Yeah, not all. I would say not all murder is bad.
All right.
I will say that. Just like I don't think, hear me out. I don't think all rape is bad.
Wow. You just went there.
Because for example, if the species is not reproducing and no people are willing to procreate, we're going to have to start forcing people. So, a la rape, right? And non-consensual. So, not bad, I would say, in that scenario. That's pretty much the only scenario I would probably say.
I'm sure you'll have volunteers before it gets to that, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you have volunteers, then you're good. But otherwise, if there's no volunteers...
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with you on this one. I'd have to think about it. I didn't know I was in an ethics class all of a sudden.
Yeah, just, do
you save that one person? Do you kill that one person to save 10 people? Or do you kill it? It's like those questions.
Yeah, the train's headed towards the 10 people, but they're on one side of the train tracks. But if you turn it, you can save the 10 people, but there's one person on the other train tracks. And so which one do you make,
Yeah,
and the moral right is to just ignore the problem. That's what you'll hear.
Oh, to ignore the problem? That's even worse.
It's not your problem.
Okay, have fun trying to sleep at night.
I mean, you didn't set them up on the train track.
Huh? Yeah, but you know about a problem now. It's like when people don't speak up for stuff.
Yeah, that does drive people crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you made it your problem by looking at it.
Yeah,
there's something deep about that. That's something to investigate.
Yeah.
It's relative. It's totally relative. And that's one thing moralists will hate to fucking hear. But it's completely relative to how people feel about, relative to how they feel about just every fucking thing in the world,
Yeah. Are there Nazis on this train?
Exactly.
Is this one person already old? Because, I mean, they live their life.
Yeah, it can... Those are the kind of things they'll, none of that, you won't be told any of that. But But the other stuff, there's still a lot to the other side of that.
Yeah, but
But we have our dude fucking hijacking a Nazi plane. He crash lands it in an elegant way. Plane's still intact. He brings one of the dead guys along, one of the pilots along, and he's just he's making a trap for our Nazi friends that keep telling the main Nazi dude to leave. Let's get out of here. Let's not, we're told to not be here, so let's not be here. He's killed 2/3 of our guys. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And then I think at the same time, the ladies have taken over.
Well, our dude Corpy.
Or is this exactly when he shows up?
He helps him. He gives that girl a gun.
Yeah, he gives them all guns.
And then he gives that one girl a gun and then gives them all guns. So that's when they escape. Yeah, but one thing I guess I was gonna say about the hanging scene, John Wick also gets hanged in John Wick 4.
Yeah, which was one of the weirder parts of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny.
But it's funny it's there.
Yeah, that's a funny parallel.
Yeah.
And that's purely, obviously, coincidental.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you would...
Or he'd get hanged in every movie. And then, I guess, Rambo would get...
Rambo I guarantee you Rambo gets hanged in one of his movies. Guarantee you.
All right, someone needs to tell us.
So he gives those ladies guns, which is awesome. Because that build-up's really fun, too. Because he's climbing in the back. He reaches for that gun. That girl backs up, and he hands it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns in such a way that you see these fucking 50 guns on his back.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, he doesn't even fucking need it. In fact, he gives every one of them guns. And then this whole next sequence of them shooting and stuff with the girls and him, it reminds me of a Robert Rodriguez movie, which is Quentin Tarantino's good friend, the guy who did Spy Kids. He likes girls with guns, and it just looks a lot like that because it's real dirty and dusty, and it just looks something right out of his movie, and especially when they're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's ripped right out of a Robert Rodriguez movie. Thought that was kind of fun because those are like Machete with Danny Trejo.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh. I just realized that the poster was a knife, not a hat.
You realize that too?
You thought it was a hat too?
I thought it was a hat, but earlier, until I looked closer at it, and I was gonna say that, but you said something else and caught me off guard, so I didn't bring it up.
I'm just now seeing that.
That's funny.
It's the Nazis in the reflection.
Yep.
That's hilarious. I thought it was. So after the ladies take over and escape, the Sisu guy takes the motorcycle and finishes following the main Nazi guy,
Bruno.
who then executes his final platoon member, to keep the gold for himself, gets on the big jumbo jet bomber type thing, and
then Tommy's shooting at the plane and manages to get the pilot. But they've already taken off and they're in the air. So we have a wounded pilot flying a plane. And it looks like he's about to pass out. But then Bruno, the Nazi guy, is like, no, you're not about to do that now. So he's telling the pilot not to pass out. All while, Corpy here had an axe and hooked himself onto the plane.
A pickaxe.
Yes, thank you. A pickaxe. And there he is in the sky with them.
You're just like
crazy.
And he slips his pickaxe. What I love that it slips out of the thing and he fucking gets hooked around one of the back wheels and then he picks his way in from under the floor.
Yeah, and they're inside the plane. Like, what is that noise? They're just praying it's not him.
Yeah. And then I think the pilot says something like, maybe we have something to be worried about. Which is awesome.
He's like, no.
He gets his gold. He kills the guys. They have the final showdown. He hooks the main Nazi guy to a bomb. He explodes in a glorious way. Those explosions looked awesome. I don't know if they're real. Speaking of which, the explosions and the tank shots and stuff like that. Explosions aren't the hardest thing to create, because you can just digitally create the trajectory of it and then have the explosion already ready to go and then just fire it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And it can look really good, but these looked awesome. They were huge. And he looks for a parachute. There isn't one. He straps himself to one of the corners because we all know that if you're going to get in a wreck, you want to make yourself one with the vehicle. And he goes down. Who knows how fucking fast? Massive amount of momentum, massive plane, and it looks like he lands in a swamp. It looks like that was the saving grace for him.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know it was a swamp. I don't know if you knew when that initial crash and the explosion of the crash. I just thought it was remains of the plane, and it was all kind of
burnt up.
Yeah, like it was how do you call that? You know, when the Hiroshima bomb and how like there's black everywhere. What do you call that? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
And then you see like the silhouettes of the people that got like blasted against the black, whatever that blackness is.
Like the soot.
Is it soot?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's what I thought it was. I thought that black stuff was the leftover soot of the bomb. You know, something like that.
Okay.
So I thought he had just
vaporized, basically.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. So I was like, okay. Well, he's done. The gold's gone. Everything's gone. All right, cool.
Yeah, no, but they couldn't end it there. He fucking crawls out of there.
I know.
He fucking crawls out of there. Oh my god. And then it ends in a way that just wouldn't seem to work. Like it ends in the most, I don't know, happy ending way this movie possibly could have, and it sticks to landing hardcore. I
like the ending.
I love the ending, and maybe it has to there's some little bit something to do with we finally get our main guy. What's his name? Atoni. Atami finally says some words. I don't know what he says. It was in Finnish.
Well, according to Wikipedia, he asked the teller to exchange the gold for large banknotes, and then he explains why. He explains that they will not be as heavy to carry as the nuggets have been. So he kind of makes a joke there, but I don't know. I didn't see the translation either. So something along those lines makes sense for him to have said.
No, absolutely, and him being a little funny about it.
Yeah,
seems to fit.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. A glorious ending to a glorious movie.
Yeah, I mean, I even like the ending with the girls that they captured that guy. I think his name is Wolf. I don't know if he was like a second in command or the Bruno's right-hand man. Yeah. But they capture him and give him to the Finnish military.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever they are, which is funny.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty funny to see a group of lady POWs driving a tank, delivering their captors right at your feet. That's got to be something.
They had him hanging from the...
I know, that was awesome. Was he tied? I couldn't tell if he was tied.
Yeah, I think he was tied.
That's awesome.
Hanging from that thing, whatever you call that thing.
The tank muzzle, I guess.
Tank gun.
It's a big muzzle. If it's called that. This movie, this is a director to pay attention to.
Yes.
I would say I don't love this movie. I don't love rare exports, but as in like in like John Wick 4 kind of way, or No Country for Old Men or something.
Yeah.
That in that kind of way. But this movie is something I could watch. This is a good party movie.
Yeah.
This is an excellent movie. But this guy, man, he's a filmmaker. He gets my filmmaking approval.
All right.
I'm gonna start doing that. Should I start doing that?
Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
This guy, he knows what's up.
And I mean, of course, there has to be something there, like you mentioned, that he was both the director and the writer.
Absolutely.
It just definitely helps with the cohesiveness and getting the story to the screen. It definitely helps.
Because the other part of that behind the behind the camera kind of side, is the camera guy himself. And some directors are the camera guys a lot of times. Not a lot of times, but there are some of them. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Is David Lynch? Does he do camera work too? I don't even know.
I'm sure he's involved.
Yeah, he's mega.
Probably,
He's
if
mega
he's
involved.
not, he's sitting right there next to the cameraman.
Yeah. I mean, most directors have their cameraman, though. They have their guy that does all of their movies.
Okay.
So there's a kind of a synergy there.
Yeah.
I mean, movies will prove it time and time again that if you have a director who wrote the movie and then, his main camera guy, that's a high level, that's a high probability of success. Because it's much easier for the person who wrote it, who's telling the camera guy what to do on some level, to capture the moment. He knows is a direct, kind of negotiation happening there. And that's not the case when the director isn't the writer. The writers are not on set like that in that capacity. The only people who are talking to the cameraman are the director and maybe the major producer. That's it. So the writers are not involved like that.
Wow. I guess I didn't know that. I guess I didn't think about
and so
that.
there's a miscommunication there happening behind the scenes. And of course, a good cameraman is going to, be able to listen on, a deep level and try his best, right?
Right.
But it's not like you're recreating someone's handwriting or forging like a 2D drawing and stuff, something that's very static and, it's just not as complex, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
This has got much more
mind
moving parts for
ability.
Personality and shit, and much more mind reading stuff because there's so many moving parts, right? So it's really cool. It's really fucking cool to see a director directing his work. I like that a lot. That speaks to me. That alone, I don't think it matters who the director is. Makes is a mark of. It makes me want to see it.
Yeah.
Makes me want to see it because there's there's something true and visionary about that, and I appreciate that on a deep level. Not that if you have the trifecta of the guys, right, or girls, whatever, you know what I mean. If you have the same writing, directing, and cinematography guys, DPs, every time, you can get away with it. Like I bet you Christopher Nolan has some of that happening, although Tenet sucks ass, so. Got him. Christopher Nolan, overrated. Say it.
Christopher Nolan, overrated.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. Tenet sucked. Whatever that was Christopher Nolan. That sucked.
Yeah.
It was
Interstellar.
Great
movie. Awesome movie.
That was a good movie.
Inception, overrated. The Following, his first movie, overrated.
It Following?
The Following.
I
think or maybe just Following. Old movie, student film, pretentious, garbage.
All right. But back to our boy. He also directed and wrote Rare Exports.
Good.
So.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope he continues to get funding for making films. It looks like he has another film in the works.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to see that.
Called Jerry and Miss Universe. So that's cool. Yeah, Big Game is the only one we haven't seen now as far as feature-length films go, which has got it's got Samuel L. Jackson in it, so it's
something.
It's something. Samuel L. Jackson is something. He is not a great actor, but he is fun to watch at the very least. Is he a great actor? What do you think? His best movie is Pulp Fiction, without a doubt. You got to rewatch it.
Yeah, I hate on
and also the other guy. Who's the guy from Grease? What's that? John Travolta.
Yeah.
Him and that's
what's his name?
John Travolta.
Is it John Travolta?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm thinking Danny, but Danny's his name in Grease. Okay. Yeah, I think. All right, but no, he's probably the best as Frozone.
Oh, of course, Frozone, legendary.
That's about it.
Almost everything Frozone says is diamonds.
And
gold.
Yeah. I kind of like him
good.
In the Avengers. He's okay in the Avengers.
Okay.
But he doesn't have big roles.
Yeah.
So he's okay.
I like him a lot in Do the Right Thing too. He's the DJ. Kind of / narrator.
Yeah.
Love that role. He's not a big character or anything, but he plays the narrator through the DJ through the radio. How fucking cool is that? Spike
Pretty cool.
Lee, a legendary director. And most of his movies aren't super great, but he has got some borderline 10 out of 10s at the very least. Oh my god. How would you rate this movie on your letterbox? I'm curious.
I'd probably give it a 3. Good, solid 3. I was leaning towards a 3.5, but
Not enough story.
yeah, not
Not enough
enough
character.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's why it hits somewhere. It's one of these movies. It's so many movies fall into this range, which is dangerous business because you don't want to open up the 100-point scale. It's just fucking nonsensical, right? You want the maximum boundary to be, your 10. 1 to 10 point scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, all the way to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get crazy with it. You don't want these decimal points. You don't want this.
I'd give it a 36.759%.
That's wow. That's a 10,000 point scale. That's even crazier.
No.
I'm not.
I'm gonna stick with my 3 out of 5.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it falls between a 2 and a 2.5 for me. I'm leaning 2.5 just because of how original and fun it is. It's missing that for me too. It's missing that character, but its effects and some of its lighting and set design or production design and the minimalistness, the minimalism of it. Is that the concept of minimal? Yeah. The minimalism of it is awesome. Love it. That's dangerous. It's so many risky things happening here, just like in John Wick, actually, in John Wick 4 at least, where you could get a little just cheap feeling, maybe pretentious. One thing I was seeing a lot of reviews saying, this movie is not pretentious. I was like, that's a weird thing to say, that something's not pretentious when no one's antagonizing
Claiming
you.
it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I even saw, I think somewhere on Letterboxd, someone said anti-pretentious. And I was just like, that's too postmodern for me. I'm sorry. I can't get behind this.
What is that about?
We need to back it up with that nonsense. It's like saying something is aesthetic. Aesthetically what? And in what? And in way? That's better. To say something is so aesthetic, it's just like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoa. Back it up. What is aesthetic? We need to re-figure this out. Re-say that.
It's almost like little kiddish, for a kid to walk into a room and just say something random.
It sort of is, yeah.
Like, a kid walking in and saying, I don't have that toy. Like, what are you talking about, kid? Who even claimed?
You sound like Chancey Gardner from Being There.
From what?
Saying like random stuff like that, and then people take it as profound. People online, of course.
Okay, yeah.
If you said that online, someone's gonna be like, "Yes, say it, preach it."
Yeah.
You sound like Chancey Gardner, who is a gardener, profession.
That's his last name and his profession.
Chancey Gardner, and his profession. He's a gardener.
Huh.
And it's just a play on words, kind of, because he's everywhere, kind of by chance too. Thanks for watching this with me. Do you have any closing thoughts on anything, everything, all at once? Everywhere, anywhere, anyone. Any closing thoughts?
Watch this movie. Have some fun. Watch it with a friend. How about that? Watch this movie with a friend.
This might be a really good family movie too.
Yeah, watch this movie with your family.
With your kids, the little ones.
I don't know.
Pull them out.
I don't know about that horse exploding.
They need to see that shit. That's gonna make them men. That's gonna
make them scared of horses.
That's gonna grow some hair on their chest.
Yeah, watch this movie with a friend. Watch this movie with your family. Don't watch it solo. I guess if you have to, you have to, but...
Yeah, it's a great movie either way, though.
Yeah.
You want me to give you a hint for the next movie?
Ooh. Make it a good hint. Not this Von Vick shit.
That
I don't get.
the most obvious fucking hint I've ever given.
Maybe it was too obvious that it just wasn't. My brain needs complexity.
Oily fish.
Oily fish. All right. Oily fish. Oily fish. It sounds like Nemo.
It is Nemo. All right, man. Thanks for watching. And thanks for listening to the Filmistines.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Eat right. Put down that cheeseburger. Drink some more coffee so you aren't hungry.
Eat some flax seeds.
I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want, but take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this movie. It's a great movie. Take care, you guys.
Take care.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines signing off.